Home is the place where it feels right to walk without shoes. Robert Frost. These words from Robert Frost make me think back to the day when my great-grandparents were little. I could see them at their house with no shoes on, running around, or just working on the homestead to keep it looking great. My great-great-grandpa, Albert Edwards, plowed the garden, and my great-aunts would follow with seeds, planting the ground with vegetables. Mary Edwards would be milking the cattle or feeding the livestock, where my great grandpa Manford, as a young boy about the age of 5, was following, watching, learning on what land would be his one day to run. Then, when my great grandpa turned 23, he married Clara Blackwell. She moved to the land with him and started to help his mom Mary out with the milking of the cows and the feeding of the livestock. Then the land became their full responsibility one day after both of Manford's parents died. Then shortly after, Manford bought the land that I live on today at a tax auction. After 2 years of marriage and living in Kansas City, my grandma Betty Edwards Coffelt and my grandpa Junior Coffelt moved to the new land and started taking care of it for my great-grandparents. They built a little one-roomed cabin on it, and as they were having my dad and uncles, they built onto the cabin and bought the land from Manford. In 1976, my dad moved to the original homestead. After Manford died and Clara was moving back to Oklahoma. Then one day he turned on the heat stove and got on a horse and went across the valley to his parents' house and took care of the cattle and the rest of the livestock, and before he could get back to his house, it had burned down. In 1998, my grandparents moved to the south side of the original homestead, and my Aunt Tammy and Uncle Charles moved to where the old home was on the original homestead. Then later that same year, my Uncle Scott and Aunt Judy moved to the east side of the original homestead. They built pastures and chicken houses, a new barn, and they called it their new home. So from Albert and Mary, to Manford and Clara, to Junior and Betty, to the 4 sons and their wives, then to the 9 grandkids, to the great-grandchildren, this homestead has been dropped down from generation to generation, and along with it the memories and everything that says Coffelt, from the beautiful lush green gardens to the big trees to the natural rocky hills. Wherever you may go, whenever you come back to this family homestead, you will automatically feel that I'm at home, feeling freedom, peace, relaxation,